Hello and welcome to the very first episode of How to Have a Happy Dog Without Going for a Walk. I'm Laura from Laura Carter Canines, dog trainer, author of The Vet Says Rest and founder of the Wags Without Walks online membership. Now, if the title of this podcast has you raising an eyebrow, thinking, hang on, surely dogs need walks every day, then you're in exactly the right place. Over the coming episodes, we're going to be exploring that idea and why it isn't the whole story. Why daily walks aren't always possible or even beneficial, and how you can still give your dog a full, happy, enriched life that they deserve. Today, I'm going to share a bit more about my own journey into dog training, the light bulb moments that led to this podcast, and why I'm so passionate about life beyond the lead. We'll talk about real reasons why dogs and owners sometimes need alternatives, the science of enrichment, and some success stories from dogs who have thrived without daily walks. So, make yourself a cuppa and settle in. Let's get started. I've always loved dogs. My very first weekend job was working in the kennels for retired greyhounds. I can still remember the sound of their tails thumping on the kennel door when I arrived. That job gave me such a deep respect for the different personalities dogs have, even within the same breed. A real interest in training started when I was working as a canine hydrotherapy assistant in Swindon. The business owner ran puppy classes in the evenings, and I was fascinated watching those pups and their owners learning to communicate. They inspired me to train as a puppy school tutor with Gwen Bailey, one of the pioneers of modern reward-based dog training in the UK. Since then, I've also qualified with the IMDT. I started my own puppy classes when my twins were small, which is about 16 years ago now. Back then, I thought I understood that a tired dog is a happy dog. But that belief was really challenged, especially one day when one of my clients came to me in tears about their 5-month-old German Shepherd puppy, Ted. Ted had broken his leg, and the vet wanted him in his crate for 23 hours a day. This was a bright, energetic puppy, and boredom and frustration were pushing him and his owners to their limits. He barked, bit, chewed, and generally made life miserable for everyone, not because he was naughty, but because he was desperate for something to do. I remember feeling so helpless because even meeting them in person made him too excited. I had to guide them remotely with activities that would work his brain but keep him still enough for his leg to heal. This was my first real taste of how important it is to have a toolkit for situations where walks just aren't possible. As a single mum of twins, there were plenty of days I couldn't get my own dogs out, but I always had games and activities to keep them content. Over the years, I saw more and more dogs and owners in similar situations. Injuries, nervousness, reactivities, new puppies not ready for the outside world yet, and the guilt these owners felt was heartbreaking. In 2023, I put everything I'd learned into my first book, The Vet Says Rest, which became a resource for owners facing restricted exercise. That same year, I also moved from Kent to Aberdeenshire in Scotland and launched the Wags Without Walks membership, a space for owners to discover how to keep their dogs happy at home. Let's talk about the reality. There are so many reasons a daily walk might not be possible. A dog recovering from surgery or injury, an owner dealing with illness, injury, or mental health challenges, dogs who are nervous or reactive, dogs who pull and make walks stressful rather than enjoyable. And then there's life itself. Small children, bad weather, icy pavement, blazing hot, or dark winter nights when it's just not safe. Puppies too young for walks, senior dogs with arthritis, or rescue dogs still adjusting to their new world. I've experienced many of these firsthand. There were days when my twins were little, that even getting everyone dressed, yet alone out the door with the dogs, felt impossible. But I never felt guilty because I knew there were other ways to meet my dog's needs. The trouble is, society tells us that we must walk our dogs once or twice a day, or we're failing them, and that's simply not true. Here's where enrichment comes in. Enrichment means giving your dog activities that allow them to engage in natural behaviours. Sniffing, chewing, problem-solving, searching, in a way that uses their brain and body. Dogs were bred to do jobs. Collies herd, spaniels search, terriers dig. But most modern pet dogs simply don't have a job anymore, and that's why we need to give them one. Because if we don't, they find their own, and that's where the so-called problem behaviours come in. From a scientific point of view, enrichment helps to lower a dog's stress by giving their brain something purposeful to do. Some walks, especially for reactive or anxious dogs, can actually increase stress. When a dog is exposed to many triggers on a walk, their body releases the stress hormone cortisol. Short bursts are fine, but cortisol levels stay high. If they stay high for long periods, it can affect digestion, sleep, immunity, and mood. On the flip side, certain types of enrichment, like scent work, can lower heart rate, promote relaxation, and provide a kind of mental tiredness that's almost as available as a physical walk. I often mix the two up. So even when we're out for a walk, I'll find a quiet spot to do some scent games or puzzles with my dogs. It's not an either or. For many dogs, a balance of walks and enrichment works beautifully. But for some, enrichment at home can actually give them a calmer, happier life than stressful walks ever could. You've already heard about Ted the German Shepherd, the puppy who taught me so much. With the right activities, he went from frustrated and bitey to calm and content, and his owner finally felt they were able to do something right by him. Then there's Poppy, a rescue dog who never leaves the house. The world outside is simply too overwhelming for her, but inside she's joyful. Her owner has created a safe, stimulating environment for scent games and ongoing activities and training sessions. She's proof that a full life doesn't have to mean a life outside. And Daisy, her owner, struggles with anxiety and often can't leave the flat. She wanted a dog for companionship, but worried it wouldn't be fair. Now Daisy has a whole repertoire of indoor activities that they can do together. Sometimes they manage an early morning walk or a late night walk, but if they don't, there's no guilt, because they have a toolbox of ways to meet Daisy's need. So, what can you expect from how to have a happy dog without going for a walk? First and foremost, permission to drop the guilt. We're going to challenge the idea that good dog owner is one who walks their dog every single day, no matter what. We'll explore why enrichment is essential for every dog, whether it's as well as a walk or instead of. I'll share practical ideas that you can try straight away, science to back them up, and stories from my own dogs and the clients I've worked with. And if you ever feel you need more support, you can join my in-person and online training options, plus Wags Without Walks, the membership, which is all available through my website, lauracartercanines.com. Thank you for joining me on this very first episode. In the next one, I'm talking about all things enrichment. What is it, why it's vital, and how I use it with my own dogs. Siri the Dalmatian, Mungo the Spaniel, Ember the Pomchi, and Dexter the Chihuahua. I'll even share how zoo animals have taught me about keeping dogs mentally and physically fulfilled when they can't leave their enclosure. This will be available next Friday at 7 a.m. Until then, remember, walks are just one part of the picture. Your dog's happiness isn't measured in miles. It's measured in moments of connection, engagement, and joy.